Santina Murin for Mix 24/7 EDM. Here I'm in New York at Electric Zoo Festival with Herobust.
Hey.
How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So you're from Atlanta, right?
Yep.
So that's sort of where you got your rap and hip hop music influence from,
Sure.
I imagine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did blending that sound into electronic music ever intimidate you, or did that always totally intrigue you?
It definitely never intimidated me. I mean, our culture, electronic music, I think musically was like one of the first to really be based on the internet.
Right.
And by virtue of that fact, it evolves so quickly. You know, trends come and go on the internet really fast. And when that trend started to happen in EDM, and I was already making dance music, it was inviting. It was the opposite.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was like here's mother's milk, and it's coming to you. It's being served.
Here's mother's milk.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Quotes from Herobust.
yeah, exactly. So to me, it wasn't intimidating at all. It was inviting. It was like, I'm fortunate that I was just there at the right time.
Right.
You know. So
I read
the
that
opposite.
you're from a family of doctors.
My dad is
that
a doctor.
okay?
Yeah.
Was that ever sort of supposed to be your career
Of course,
path?
I was 100% bred for that purpose.
To be a doctor. And then whenever you decided to start a career in music, was that perceived well by your family and friends, or was it a little like, watch me and I'll prove it to you?
It was really a lot of confusion, I guess. My parents are awesome, so they never, there was never like any, really tangible backlash, but I think they were just confused. And I told them I'm going to give myself 1 year. If I haven't made a certain amount of progress in that time, then I'll reapply. I mean, I had already finished my school and taken the MCAT, and I was good to go. I was really just basically choosing which school I was going to go to.
Okay.
So to wait a year and reapply the next year would not have been a big deal. But luckily, thanks to all you guys out there, this worked.
This worked out.
So yeah, thank God I don't have to be some kind of doctor.
So now you can, when people are like dying at your sets, you can actually save them too.
Well, not really, because I didn't actually do all this.
Okay, never mind.
But please don't die out
I'm
there.
just kidding, of course. So your new single, are we calling it WTF?
Yeah,
or are we
please call it
saying
WTF,
what the fuck? Like how do
Well, as long as you don't say the CK, I think you're okay.
No, just the
Of course, just the
WUHHHH,
yeah,
right?
the soup, basically.
Right, but would you say a new single WTF, or do you say what the fuck? Like how?
I say WTF because I'm in the habit of it. I mean, most people know it as what the,
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, but you're talking with publications and blogs and this and that, and WTF is just
WTF.
safe.
But you tweeted, fun fact, I made almost all of the sounds in this song from a recording of me saying WTF. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? What do you mean?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of different ways to sample audio.
Okay.
And there's a lot of different ways to process audio, and sound design is kind of like what I'm known for. I end up making really interesting sounds, and sounds that producers and fans find intriguing.
Right.
That's probably the strong point of the Herobust project. Yes. So I'm a firm believer that putting limitations on creativity can enhance creativity. So I thought, I'm going to limit myself to only using this one sample and trying to flip it in as many ways as possible. And if you do stuff like that, you end up, because of those constraints, you end up coming up with things that you never would have if you had just total freedom to make whatever you want, So it was kind of like a creative exercise, and I knew whatever it ended up being was going to be strange. So I was like, what phrase would work with this? And I was like, that'll work.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I first discovered you in 2016 at EDC New York, which they don't even do anymore.
Yeah.
And that was my first festival, actually, and I was still finding my sound, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it started raining a little bit, so I went into the tent, and I was like, what is happening? Who is this? I need to know everything, and became a fan ever since then.
Thank you.
So what would you say is your favorite festival that you've played so far? I know that's probably hard, and they're all different.
Yeah. I'm not big on favorites. I hate to cop out.
Or maybe it was just the coolest one you've done.
They're all cool for different reasons.
They really are. And even as a fan who goes, every festival is fun and different. I
can say some of my favorites would be Shamboa, Electric Forest.
Electric Forest is my favorite.
You know, and it's just the festival. Holy Ship is another good example. You know, there are festivals that you go to, you see the talent, and you leave, and you make good memories. But then there are other festivals where you go there, you see the talent, but you connect with the other fans, and you become friends, and you become family, once you're going back to a festival year after year just to reconnect with that family, a culture builds around that festival, and to me those are just far and away the best events that we have. That's what these events are here for. You know what I mean? It's not for me to play some music and you to hear some music. It's for all of us to connect via the music, and the festivals that really do that well end up accruing that kind of family community vibe. And
totally agree.
Yeah,
totally agree. Well, let's speak it into existence. What's a festival that's maybe number one on your bucket list that you haven't played yet but you want to?
Well, there aren't many that I haven't played. up to this year, it would have been Electric Forest.
Okay.
Because that's just one that every year, everywhere I go, people are like, "Are you gonna play for us? Are you gonna play for us?" And like, I've been doing this for a while, so I've heard it for so long. So to finally get to play it this year was really awesome. I really do recommend Chambois. A lot of people in the States especially are not aware of that festival.
Yeah, honestly never.
It's in British Columbia in Canada. And it's like a Burning Man vibe, but it's in the mountains.
Wow, that sounds beautiful.
It's incredible.
That's definitely intriguing.
It's amazing. Excision always, has a monster set up there. Like you've seen Excision post like his Chambois set, so that's Chambois. That's what most people know it from in the States, I guess. Hangout is really cool. Hangout. And it's like on the beach. That's pretty rare, festival on the beach, especially for EDM. So that one was fun.
That's good. Last question for you. What do you think is the most common misconception about EDM, whether it's the community or the music in general, and what can be done to positively change it?
I guess the most positive misconception is that our culture hinges and is dependent on drug use.
That would be mine too, but
I don't think that's the case. I mean, I have the best seat in the house every night. I see the whole crowd, and it's sometimes you can tell people are inebriated, but a lot of times they're not. And I'll speak for myself. For a long time, I would. I'm not super big on drugs or anything, but I would casually drink before shows. Okay. And for the longest time, I would play. And just, that was just part of my routine. I would kind of loosen up, have a beer or two, and play.
Calm the nerves a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. But then I played, I ended up starting to play without it. And I realized that all of these feelings that I was attributing to having a couple of drinks before I played had nothing to do with those drinks. Right. It just had to do with the adrenaline of the show and the energy of connecting with the people and the whole positive feedback loop of passing it back and forth from the performer to the fans and back and forth, and the whole thing just gathering so much inertia, no one can stop it, and it's just bigger than all of us. That feeling has nothing to do with the drugs. And at the end of the day, that's the feeling that everybody here is hooked on.
Exactly.
So I guess for them to understand, they just have to come to a show.
You really have to be in it to understand.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Totally.
Agreed. Well, very well said. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you and your time. Absolutely. Here with Herobust, I'm Santina Murin for Mix 24/7 EDM.